Hi, we're going to be reading Healing today. That night, I licked my wounds as I slept. I licked and slept, licked and dreamed. I was in exquisite pain. The dreams circled around me. My bruised body floated above the ground, and below, far below, I saw the vicious dogs and my old den in the woods, and the mall, and Marcy and George's house, and then I was above the Marians' house, swallows swooping by the chimneys and roofs. I could feel the whisper of their wings against my fur. On the lawn, which seemed a very long way down, I saw Matthias reading in the shade of a tree. The other boy and the noisy girl were spraying each other with the garden hose, shrieking and laughing. They sprayed Matthias as he jumped to his feet, the book falling out of his lap. Then, like a snake, he glided across the grass and slid under our shed. The snake and the swallows and the rooftops disappeared suddenly, and I found myself among the rafters in the shed, still looking down, watching what was below. And there was my family. Mother and Bone and I were sleeping in the wheelbarrow. We breathed steadily and heavily. Bone's foot twitched as he dreamed, as I dreamed of his dreams. A mouse emerged from the small hole near the roof beam, scampered down to a spot just above Mother's head, and watched us solemnly. Mother stirred, Bone stirred, I stirred. The mouse crept away, and we slept on. I felt myself falling then, crashing, and I awoke with a jerk that made my body throb. Next to me, Moon quivered, rolled over, and licked at a bite on her rear leg. When I drifted into sleep again, I found myself back in the shed, but this time Mother was gone, and Bone and I were sitting on the burlap nest. Matthias eased quietly through the door and held out his hand to us. When he opened it, a swallow was perched on his palm. Matthias set the swallow on the floor and left the shed. The swallow flew up into the rafters, and when I turned to look at it, I found myself outside, hunting with Bone in the woods. I was hungry. My stomach was rumbling. Bone and I couldn't find the garbage heap. I was thirsty too, my mouth dry as sand. I awoke and saw the moon was gone. I was alone on the leaf bed. I licked my feet and fell asleep again. I slept and dreamed and woke and licked. Sometimes when I awoke, Moon was next to me. Sometimes the leaf bed was empty. Sometimes in the light of the woods was bright, the sun shining through the leaves. Sometimes the woods were in darkness, except for weak moonlight. I slept for a day and a night and another day and another night, and part of the day after that. Moon stayed close by. When she left the leaf bed, she didn't go far. On the day after the second night, I woke from the dream about finding cake with white frosting in the garbage heap. I realized that my aching body didn't ache quite so much. I rose gingerly, putting weight on my sore feet. Moon had been dozing beside me, but now she jumped to her feet. She touched my nose with hers, then licked my snout. I licked at her ear, at the scabby notch that had formed after the dogs tore it. Then I stepped off the leaf bed. As in my dreams, my stomach was empty and growling, and my mouth dry and sandy. I staggered a bit. I didn't feel up to hunting for food, but I didn't know if any garbage cans were nearby, and how far away was a stream or a puddle. I was about to sink back on the leaf bed when Moon nudged me, then headed purposefully into the woods, keeping her back to the highway. She led me to the edge of a small brook. I stood on its bank and drank and drank. Then I waded into the feet and let it wash over my bruised feet. I remembered chasing Bone through the stream on the day we left the Marians' property. That was when we were puppies, healthy puppies. Now my feet felt as heavy as logs. I couldn't imagine running and chasing and playing. I picked my way over the stones and the brook and up the bank where I sat down next to Moon. Moon looked at me, then jerked to attention and cocked her head. In an instant she had leaped away and buried her head in a patch of tall grass. She emerged with a fat vole, which she laid at my feet. Then she dove into the grass again and emerged with a second vole. Moon, who preferred not to hunt, had caught a meal for me. I was healing, with Moon at my side, little Moon with her notched ear. My strength returned, my bruises disappeared, and soon all that was left of my cuts and bites were small bare patches in my fur. Moon and I stayed in the woods until one morning we woke and knew that we were going to leave our leaf bed. We set off through the woods, keeping the highway to one side. Moon and I were on the move again.